The Mass I went to today was the second Scrutiny. So the readings I'm going to reflect on are from year A this time. Because that theme of blindness, light and dark, it's just so rich. I've watched a lot of Law and Order Special Victims Unit lately, and I think one of the beautiful things the writers do in a show like that, any of those crime scene shows, is they kind of lead you on and they want you to think, oh, maybe this is the guy who caused the crime or did whatever thing. And then they twist it around and then you realize, oh, wow, I was looking through maybe a certain bias or a certain lens that kept me from seeing who the bad guy really was. And that's good. I think those things need to be shaken up in us all the time. It happens in the first reading today in year A, so it's the call of David to be the next king. When Samuel looks at the other 7 brothers of David before David even gets there, before he even knows he exists, he sees the oldest brother and says, "This has got to be the Lord's anointed." And the Lord says, "No, you're not looking like the Lord looks, because the Lord looks into the heart." And in the gospel reading at the very beginning, the disciples asked, who sinned that this man would be born blind? And again, we get it wrong. We start thinking in a certain way, and our biases just make us believe that this is the one way that it has to be. I think that's really important to reflect on those things, because if we let our biases continue to run our lives, we're never going to be able to change or grow or anything like that. And sometimes we might have biases that we hold on to that are hurtful to us. Like for the disciples to believe that somebody has to sin if they're going through pain or suffering or whatever else. No, sometimes you go through pain and suffering because you sin, fine. Yeah, and that's pretty easy to discern. But sometimes you go through it because that's just the way it is. That's the way things are in the world. And maybe later on in life, you can look back on and say, wow, God really did something with that suffering. And that's a beautiful thing. And I hope that that's the perspective we can all get to at some point with all of the sufferings that we endure. So again, the big message I think this weekend that I kept hearing was this theme of light and dark. The Lord brings out the light. The Lord shows things for exactly how they are. And don't let our biases tell us how things are supposed to be. I know for myself, one of the things I struggle with is as I get worked up about something, either I feel unjustly treated or angry about something, I start to rationalize in my head about like, well, this person is a so-and-so. They're a bad person. They're mean. They're whatever else. And I was really in the right about this thing because I'm trying to justify in myself that I'm a good person, that I didn't do something wrong. But I need to let those things go. Sometimes I'm just so worked up trying to focus on why that person is bad and wrong that I stop being able to look inside the heart and saying, why does that bother me so much? Why do I care that this person corrected me or challenged me or whatever? Why does that bother me so much? Because if what they say really doesn't matter, then I shouldn't be worked up about it. Anyway, the ability to justify ourselves is so strong. Just look at the Pharisees today in the gospel reading too, where the man born blind is saying, look, he's a prophet. I believe he's a prophet. He put mud on my eyes. He sent me to the pool, to Siloam, and now I can see. And this is the amazing thing. You guys don't understand it. So I hope that during this Lent, during our lives, as the Lord continues to walk us through whatever circumstances in life, that we continue to be able to pause and reflect on our experiences and say, Lord, what are you showing me through all of this? Not necessarily did I do something right or wrong here, but what are you showing me? How are you opening my eyes just a little bit more?